Well, here we go. We are doing an impromptu interview today, which is fantastic, which is awesome. We are also going to attempt to do something on the old Manny cam here because Josh has his green screen, as you can see there, and I think I can chroma key his green screen out, which is hilarious because
Give me a nice jungle background.
a nice
I can
jungle
say, hello,
background.
all you cool cats and kittens.
That's right. So Josh, there is a rumor that they want to draft Michelle Obama, or as the great Rush Limbaugh refers to her, Michelle My Belle.
Yeah.
What do you think of this, brother?
It is possibly true because there was an FEC filing on April 26th, I believe, or 25th, a committee to draft her to run. But I do believe that Joe Biden did promise that he was going to pick a female vice president, so I'm not sure how she would qualify. But with that being said, she would certainly be a political adversary that we would have to contend with because, again, I think out of all the people, she would be, unfortunately, a game changer, and she could really do some damage here. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I guess the good thing it would be is that as long as he's at the front of the ticket, he's got 3 rounds to go with President Trump in front of the nation, thank goodness. And it would be obviously Mike Pence against her. So they only get 1 round to go. So we'll see what happens. But let's hope it's not her. I honestly hope it's Gretchen Whitmer. I think that she would be the easiest probably. Elizabeth Warren would be another one that I think would be very easy. And then, I think Stacey Abrams would be a little bit tougher, mainly just because being a minority.
Yeah.
And then who's the other one that they had? Kamala Harris. But pretty much everybody hates Kamala Harris, including minorities. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't think, well, and also, if she wants to run in the next election, and this whole VP thing doesn't work, that might not be a good idea for her.
Yeah, look, I hope that she decides to just read to children for the rest of her life. I don't want her anywhere near the Oval Office at all. I think that the 8 years of a disaster of her husband and her perpetrated against the United States and the fundamental transformation of America was enough. We've already seen that act. We certainly don't want to see it again. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully that is not the case, and that old Dementia Joe, picks somebody else, whoever it may be.
So
Bette Midler, who knows?
She's
not really a minority though, although her brain is a minority. So, yeah.
Oh, where's the Bette Midler? That's the only time.
The only one worse than that would be Cher and Barbara Streisand.
Well, that too. Hey, speaking of Barbara Streisand, did you see the thing, God, what was it, about 2 weeks ago where James Brolin took his grandkids over to see Barbara Streisand and her husband, and then all these people got on Twitter and they went, I can't believe that you would do all this and would do all this safety stuff, and he had to come out and explain on Twitter, I'm sorry that we took our kids to go see their grandparents.
Wow.
I'm like, what?
Look, when it comes to social distancing, anyone that can stay far clear of Barbara Streisand is doing a good job.
Doing fantastic.
But it's getting out of control. You have this left-wing radical former ESPN broadcaster, Jamel Hill, I think is her name.
Oh yeah.
And the kicker, Rohrhauser, I think is his last name, for the Patriots, was drafted in, I don't know, 6th or 7th round. And he had a 3% tattoo on his body. He's probably more than likely a more of a conservative type of guy. And she freaked out. She called him a Nazi and a white supremacist and, you hate black people, all this other crazy stuff. And you know what? He caved to the pressure, and now he's announced publicly that he's going to have the tattoo removed. He ought to get a tattoo with a big, giant middle finger instead, because it's ridiculous to kowtow to these leftist radicals. If that's what he believes in, he should do that. And I was all for him. I was all going to support him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's got a 3% tattoo. And then he goes and he caves to the political pressure. I'm sure the Patriots didn't actually tell him to do it. He probably just did it on his own, which is even sadder.
We have got Josh Bernstein with us today, and we just decided to come on live here. We're doing essentially
politics. We're gonna have some fun.
We're playing the hits today, as they say. And if you're watching us on Facebook Live and Twitch and Periscope, I've managed to do it. I managed to key out the green background, and I literally put Josh Bernstein in the jungle. He even has his own CG that says,
"Hello,
live from
cool
the jungle."
Cats and kittens.
Live from the jungle, Josh Bernstein.
I want to keep it PG, but if anyone, everyone pretty much has seen, the tiger thing.
Oh,
Tiger King.
Joe Exotic.
The one scene at the funeral. I mean, I'm not going to get graphic. I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. But wow, in front of the guy's mother, he says that. Boy, I got to tell you about his big giant. I was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe that. So
Joe Exotic.
Yeah, that was a very interesting show, to say the least.
Well, they've
what
cast
a character that Joe is.
They've cast Nicolas Cage as Joe Exotic. Netflix is going to make
what they're going to use?
a TV show.
Cage? Oh man, what about David Spade? Didn't he play Joe Dirt?
Well, see, Joe Dirt, Joe Dirt. Put the E on the end of it and church it up a little.
Yeah, there you go.
So, what do you make of this Twitter clip that's out there of Fauci from 60 Minutes saying, these masks don't really work? Don't wear the masks; they don't work.
I understand for political reasons that President Trump can't just announce on Twitter, "I've decided to fire Dr. Fauci," as I call him.
Yes.
And I get that. For political reasons, it would be probably damaging to him, as millions of Americans that are scared and worried have been watching and tuning in each and every day. However, instead of firing him, he needs to just say, hey, look, the chandemic part is all over now. You're not needed anymore. You can kind of sit in the back and just, watch. I'll take care of the business side of things, getting the economy going and running again. So hopefully he's just going to put him on the bench and just let him sit there until he gets splinters. And, of course, Birx as well. These folks are not needed anymore. We're at the containment part. We're at the mitigation part. We're starting to open up the economy again. We certainly don't need, the little midget tyrant running around saying that 10 million people are going to die tomorrow. And it seems to be, his MO. And remember, folks, he was against hydroxychloroquine. Why? Because he wasn't going to make any money. But now all of a sudden the remdesivir, whatever the hell it's called, now he's supporting it. Why? Because he's going to make some cash. That's why. So he's been bad from the very beginning. That's why I call him Dr. Falsey.
Dr. Falsey. Josh Bernstein with us today. He's of course, as you can see. I'm going to send you this video. It is live from the jungle. I was
supposed to do like a serious interview with like an entrepreneurial type of business television show somewhere in Canada or whatever, and they didn't show up, or they showed up and then they were having all kinds of technical difficulties. See, part of the thing with everyone being home now and using Zoom and Skype and all that is they don't know how to use it, and when they don't in their posh offices and all that, they don't know how to use it. Me, I've got green screen technology. I've got a background. I've got a full lighting system. I've got mics. I've got the earpiece. I've got it all because, again,
the earpiece is pretty awesome. I do like the earpiece. Now, Josh Bernstein with us today, and he's also going to be with us tomorrow because we have to do our regular serious political segment. But this we're just screwing around today with
we're just messing around
all
here,
the news and views.
Even messing around, I think we give some good content. At least I hope.
I was listening to Paul Joseph Watson today, which I love. I love his accent.
Great. He truly is great, and boy, I would love to have him on the show. I'd love to interview him because he's a great patriot. He truly is, and he does some really good work, some really funny stuff. And his latest is pretty funny. All the dancing, the TikTok nurses running around and everything else.
Well, he was talking about a thing today, which I find just insane. I guess there's a professor. They call him Professor Lockdown because he was the one that created this whole thing. He had to resign because during the lockdown, he went and visited a married woman.
Oh, well, hey,
I'm like, oh well, And Charles Joseph Watson was calling him Professor Pants Down.
Didn't apply to him.
No,
so
he said he's not Professor Lockdown anymore. He's Professor Pants Down now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I've got my little drummer boy in the background playing Xbox. I told him to be quiet, and he made a comment, so I had to shush him real quick.
Hey, that's fine. No. He can keep playing. That is the one
he's
thing.
Great. He's amazing, and if folks want to see an incredible drummer and a gifted beyond all recognition, I mean, the kid is incredible. Just go to Jacob Aiden Drummer on YouTube and subscribe to this channel, man. You'll just be blown away with
That's awesome.
Content and the skill set. And I know he's my kid, and I'm proud of him, but honestly, the reality is he is absolutely insanely good on the drums.
So
shameless plug for you, son.
Hey, you gotta get the plugs in where you can.
Got to get the plugs in.
Yeah, you might when you got a dad who's going on national radio.
I'm not even talking about Joe Biden, and I'm not gonna mention the name of the news organization because I promised I never would. But let's just say that a few years ago, I was offered a job on as a news anchor on a station.
Yeah.
Okay, and they told me point blank, Josh, you're really talented. We really like your work. You're fierce. You're a patriot. You do a great job. All this, but do you think you'd be okay wearing a wig?
That's awesome.
And I said, what?
Wear a wig. About? So you'd be stern.
The bald badass. All of a sudden, I'm going to show up with what? James Brown's wig on? Yeah, I can't do that.
That's
so
awesome.
they're like, well, we would really like for you to wear a wig or something like that. And I was like, sorry, I'm not going to do it. So instead, they hired a blonde with, shall we say, healthy lungs. We'll leave it at that.
That's awesome. That's right. As I used to say, we got to clean it up for the folks at home, as Bill O'Reilly used to say. What do you make of some of these people that they used to be in the media, like Bill O'Reilly? Now he's, doing a podcast off his website. All this. I like Bill O'Reilly. I think it's cool that he's still doing his thing, but man, how the mighty have fallen. He's doing stuff on his website when he used to make fun of people like
really
us.
Unfortunate. He is very talented. He would always, get in people's faces, and he was very animated. And he did a good job. And he was in, media and news for a very long time, Inside Edition and all the other shows that he did even before the O'Reilly Factor. Look, I wish him nothing but the best. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he might be on Newsmax. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's kind of back and forth on Newsmax.
Is he back and forth on that?
I think he rents their studio, and he pays them for the production, and then every once in a while he's on their station.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But look, when you're part of the media and you have a story to tell, and you want to get your information out there to people to change hearts and minds, you're going to use any avenue that you can.
Oh yeah.
I do it every single day. It's a labor of love. It's something that I've been doing for many, many years. And, I sleep good at night knowing that I'm exposing all these people on the left and trying to preserve liberty and for everybody. Because, again, I want my little drummer boy here to grow up in a society in which he can play the drums for free.
That's right.
And travel the world and have a good time and be free and prosperous. And that goes for everyone's children, I don't want to see an America in which we're huddled in our homes and told that we have to wear masks and we have to do this and we have to do that, and then we have to get a vaccine that's going to allow us to travel. I mean, I'm not interested in tyranny, folks, and I will fight to it.
Well, that too. So Josh Bernstein joins us today, and of course, as you see on screen, he's live from the jungle. I'm gonna send you this video through Skype because
Sweet.
this
Yeah.
you've got to see this, even if you just watch it.
I bet it looks
and
cool.
toss it.
Is there any animal sounds you can make with the jungle? Or
You know,
like,
with Skype,
like
it
can you tell me
mutes.
to like duck as like a, I don't know, vultures coming to get me or something?
It's great.
Wait,
So-
can you change it to another one? Can you change it to like outer space?
Outer space.
like that?
Outer space.
change
You know what's funny is we have Jay Bird Wells, who does our show on Sunday, and she's always sitting in front of the green screen here in the studio, and she's always like, "Put me in France," and I'm like, "What?"
Well, I think if you can, you should take me from the jungle and put me in Uranus. Anyway,
So
I say that because my birth moon, I guess it is the country.
Oh,
country.
no.
I almost called it country. Is the
oh no.
what is it? The moon? No, not the moon.
You're-
Planet. There you go. What planet am I on? Anyway, so yeah, the planet for my birthday or whatever is Uranus.
Yeah,
I was trying to
my buddy Ross is all into that. You know, he always calls me every year around Mercury retrograde, and he's always like,
Yeah, everybody.
You gotta
freaks out
watch
about
Mercury
that,
retrograde's
this whole
coming.
thing. I can't do anything. I can't leave my house today. Why? Mercury's in
Retrograde.
whatever. Really? Put your tinfoil hat on, get in your car, and come on over. It's like people are getting.
You know what's funny is one time he made a comment to me about Mercury retrograde, and I said, "Okay, what is this? What is this thing?" And he's like, "All electronic devices will have problems during this, and blah blah blah." And he got so far in my freaking head that one time I had a computer go down, and I had to take it to the shop,
Oh, no.
and he's like, See? Mercury
It happens.
retrograde." And I talked to another buddy of mine, Jay Izzo, who is the internet doctor. He is the only registered internet doctor, supposedly. And Jay told me, he's like, well, dude got in your head. And then when the computer went down, you went, oh my God, Mercury retrograde. So,
Yeah, that's weird. And apparently it happens a lot because, I keep hearing about it every couple of months or whatever. Again, I don't know the whole
Oh yeah,
schedule of it
I
or
don't know what the whole
I don't pay attention to
what the
those
whole
types of things.
shenanigans is, because I know like when we went to Vegas one year, he was like, "Well, you're going to be going out there in the middle of Mercury retrograde," and I'm like, "Pfft, okay."
I'm like, really? Someone's breaking thermometers around us? What's going on with all this mercury?
And we changed the CG, so he's live from space now. Josh Bernstein, there he is.
Well, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, there you go. I'm far out there now. Whoa. Look at all the
You
planets.
remind me of God, what the hell was that show? It used to be on PBS.
PBS.
Way back in the
The
day.
progressive broadcasting system?
The stargazing guy. What was
The
his
what?
name? There was a guy that used to do this
Star-
like 5-minute thing or whatever about stars. Stargazer or something, and they would place him and like they'd shrink him down and place him among the stars and everything. It was so corny.
I don't know.
I'll
I
have
don't
to
remember
dig that up and see what that is.
I was never really a big Star Trek fan, so
Well,
I know I
that
kind of
too.
have the hairline for it, but I was never really into the Star Trek
Let's
stuff.
see here. PBS Stargazer, maybe. Stargazer TV show.
Does the guy look like me? Is that what you're trying to say? Or
No, the way
Oh,
way
okay.
you're the green screen and the space and all the
green
stuff.
screen. Gotcha.
Yeah,
So let's
it
see.
was-
We have the jungle. We've got the green screen.
the Star Hustler was his name. He was.
You should put me
Jack
in
Horkenmeyer.
a Gavin Newsom homeless encampment. How's that?
We'll put you at Occupy Wall Street. That'll be
Yeah,
the
there you
next
go.
thing. That'll
There
be
you
the
go.
next thing.
Sometimes it's fun doing these impromptus because, you don't have any notes. You don't know what you're going to say
Yeah.
next. It's almost like a ad-libbed comedy show, and I actually enjoy doing those.
That's right.
Yeah, there we
So,
are.
so out there, you're in the Arizona area. What the heck are they doing with all the lockdowns and craziness, or is there such a thing?
we have Governor Doug Ducey here, who, for the most part, has been a pretty conservative governor. Although I did interview him when he was state treasurer, and he looked me straight in the eyes and lied to me when I asked him, will you, if you become governor, get rid of Common Core initiatives in the state of Arizona? And he said, yes, Josh, I will. And we still have Common Core initiatives. It's not as bad as it was, but we still have it. He said that he's going to open up the restaurants, I think, in 2 or 3 days. And then we're supposed to open up around the 15th. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't worn a mask at all the entire time. I refuse to wear a mask.
Yeah.
And I've been outside. And to be quite honest, I have lost probably 10 to 12 pounds total. Maybe not that much. I'm lying to myself. The TV puts on 10, so I'll take a few off. Let's say 8 pounds, 7 or 8 pounds. And it's because I've been walking, I've been, exercising, I've been doing those hikes. People saw the videos that I've been shooting out in the mountains and stuff. So this whole quarantine thing has been like, the greatest thing for me, because I've been doing nothing but hanging out outside. And, we're not a totalitarian type of state. You can go out to the park and, you can go to different places and things like that, and no one's going to haul you off into jail. So for me, I go out to the stores very, very infrequently, but when I do, and I see all these people walking around with masks, it just makes me feel so bad inside, because it makes me feel like not only that the system has broken down, but I almost feel like the globalists have won in a way, because they're forcing us to wear a mask. They're forcing us to change our daily behavior. And you know me, I'm a nonconformist through and through. So when I see that, it makes me feel sad that I see all these people walking around with their masks on in different stores. And I'm just like, gosh, this is like so horrible. Never would I have thought in my 45 years on Earth that we would walk into a store and see people in masks and gloves and all that stuff. I really hope this stuff ends and ends quickly.
I used to see all that stuff from Japan, and I'm like, man, they all got masks on. And now all of a sudden, they've all got masks on. It's the craziest deal. Josh Bernstein with us today, and of course, as you see, he's live from Occupy now. And
oh boy,
he's
so that or something. So I'm hanging out with the occupiers.
When I was out there,
I'll do the rest of the show like this.
When we were out there in January, traveling back from the AVNs.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to get together.
You know what is so funny?
I think I was up in Sedona, which you were close to me, but I don't know. We didn't cross paths.
What was funny is I kept seeing all these places on the side of the road that are like big-time tourist traps. They had this one in Arizona that you can show up there and shoot guns. It got all this stuff.
It's the Wild West, baby. It's the Wild West. It's so much better than
it is great, man. It is great. And we stopped at this. This wasn't this year, but last year we stopped at a place right outside of Arizona. It was like a biker. It looked like a biker bar. But it was basically it was like a Harley Davidson kind of place, and they let you cook your own food. And when we walked in, I'm like, this has got to be the stupidest thing in the world.
Bunch of Harley guys cooking up food. I don't know if I want to touch that. I might have a mask on for that.
I'm like, I'm not gonna cook my own food in front of a grill and everything. But after they had like all the sides and all the stuff. We hung out and did this thing, and it was the funnest experience I've ever had. I don't know why that was fun, but it was so strange.
Well, there's some.
So
really
you guys have all sorts of cool things,
especially in northern Arizona, like Sedona and Jerome. If you've never been to Sedona, Sedona is an amazing place. It is actually the most photographed rocks in the entire world.
Wow!
And imagine everything is color coordinated to the rocks and to the scenery. So, for instance, you may see a McDonald's that is a red, pinkish type of color.
Yeah.
You may see a hotel that is like a red, pinkish type of color. And so the coordination of the color scheme has to match the red rocks, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's really, really a beautiful place. And then if you go up the road just a little bit, there's a place called Jerome, which is a really neat old ghost town. Unfortunately, it's kind of been inhabited lately by California leftists that have come in, and it's like an artist colony and stuff like that. But it's definitely a really, really cool place as well. So there's definitely a lot of cool places
awesome.
all around that area. I don't live in that area. I live in a different area, but even where I'm at, there's some pretty cool places and mountains as well.
Well, I'll tell you, that is such a cool little area. And then we ended up in, of course, we stayed in Tucumcari, New Mexico, wherever the hell.
Tucumcari, New Mexico.
That's
yeah.
it.
Right off of, I think Route 40? I don't remember.
I don't know. It was
40 or 10.
It was an interesting place.
Yeah.
And so that whole area out there is just so cool. Yeah. I just think that is so neat out there.
New Mexico, I mean, look, I'm sure there's fans that I have that are in New Mexico. I don't like it nearly as much. It's not as built up, number one. Number two, Albuquerque and some of those areas they kind of look like the West Valley of Phoenix. And then there is a beautiful area. There's Taos, and there's also Santa Fe, which is, again, kind of a tourist trap as well.
Oh, yeah.
But they're very nice. They've got really nice architecture and stuff like that. But, I love the mountains in Zona. It's pretty awesome.
It is pretty cool. And then, of course, we go through Vegas, and there's all the craziness that is there.
Yeah, Vegas is fun, no doubt.
So Josh, talk to me about your little media empire that you've kind of built. Because you've got your YouTube channel, you got the Roku thing, you were doing radio for a little bit, you got all sorts of things going.
Yeah, look, I started many, many years ago doing writing, actually. I wrote for Breitbart, I wrote for The Examiner, I wrote for the Tea Party Tribune, just a bunch of different smaller ones. And from that, I ended up getting an opportunity to get into radio, and I had a co-host in the beginning. We were on Blog Talk Radio. It was called The Grit and Grace Show. And so we did that for about 10 months, and then we went our separate ways. And I decided at that point, you know what? I'm not going to do any hokey names or anything. I'm just going to call it my name and see what happens. And so I did, and, I kind of got lucky from there. I ended up getting in contact with the producer for the Dave Pratt show in Arizona, and he really liked what I was doing. So then he introduced me to the morning mayor, Dave Pratt, out here, who's like a legend in radio and broadcasting out here. And so we became good friends, and then I ended up doing my show from his studios in Scottsdale.
Wow.
And then at that point, I did that for about 2 years. So that was the first time I ever had like engineers and, real microphones and like all that stuff. And I just, I loved it. I never met a mic I didn't like, you know what I mean? Except for maybe Michelle Obama. But anyway, that's another story for another day.
That's awesome.
So then from there, they wanted to get into video. And I was on KFNX 1100 in Phoenix, right sandwiched between Michael Savage and Herman Cain. So I was right in the middle Mondays.
That's awesome.
And I did that for a while, but I ended up saying to myself, you know what? Video is where it's at. Yep. And so they were willing to be the guinea pigs. So I started my first show in his Scottsdale studios on video. And then from there, I did that for about a year with him in his studio. And then I eventually created another studio so that I could do things on the fly at my house. And I still work in the studio. And, I just love it. It's great every single day. The best part about what I do is you never, ever run out of content. Never.
No,
the world
is
constantly changing. There's a story every single day. I spend hours and hours and hours searching and researching and verifying and sourcing and contacting people. And is this true? And is that true? And is this true? I have an extremely rigorous process before I look at a camera and I do a story. I make sure that I'm 100% accurate on that.
Yeah.
I'm not CNN. Okay, I don't just throw crap out there and that's the end of it. And they, whoa, we got that one wrong. Shh, no one even noticed. We'll just come up with another lie. So
that's right.
I'm not MSLSD and I'm not the Chinese news network. I'm the Josh Bernstein show. And as I've always said, I could be absolutely correct 99 times, But if I'm wrong even once, my audiences are going to remember that one time I was wrong, not the 99 times I was right. And so
Well,
I
that
take
too.
that responsibility seriously, and I love what I do. I sleep with a great conscience at night, knowing that I've told the truth the day before. I know that I'm going to tell the truth the next morning, and I'm going to continue to tell the truth because it's so much easier to give real,
So much
factual,
easier.
truthful information, separating yourself from all the other liars out there.
Yes.
And then people are drawn to you because they know that every single time I watch one of Josh's shows, I'm going to get the truth. I don't have to double check and triple check it because he's already done that. And to me, that's a very powerful thing, and that's why I love doing what I do. And like I say, it's a labor of love. I put a lot of work into it, but the
Yes.
reward is so worthy because I get to change hearts and minds on a daily basis. So many people say to me, Josh, I've got an uncle or my mom or my daughter or my brother, they're a left-wing idiot. Well, just show them my show. Oh, they won't watch your show.
Left-wing idiot.
Well, get them to watch my show. Or take some of the things that you've learned and ask them questions. See, some of the best ways to get through to a liberal is to ask them a question that you already know the answer to. Almost like
Well,
an
that's,
attorney, right? And when they say something else, say, well, actually, that's not true, and here it is. Let me show you. Let me prove it to you. And then what happens is you start opening up their mind to, well, maybe he is telling the truth. Maybe there's something to this. You never hear in life that I was a conservative and now I'm a liberal. You don't hear that.
Well,
you
that's
hear I was a left-wing radical liberal idiot, but I finally woke up and realized that I've been lied to my whole life, and now I'm a conservative. Okay?
That's awesome.
It's always that direction. It's never the other direction. And that's because once someone has woken up to the lies of the media and how they've been duped, for so long, they actually get angry about it internally. And then what happens is they'll never change again because now they understand that they've been lied to and duped. So now they're looking for the lie. So now when they look at the media and they see something, even conservative media or even, moderate independent media, they still go, wait a minute, what's the agenda here? There's got to be an agenda here. And that's how you need to critically think once you've been awakened. And so I love doing it. Like I said, it's a labor of love. I enjoy it, and I'll do it till my last days on Earth, or in Uranus if still have planets.
Oh yeah.
Or if I get out of this homeless embankment that you've got me in.
So I guess before we let you go, how do people find you and everything so they can get your
You can pretty much find
stuff?
me anywhere. I mean, if you Google Josh Bernstein Show, you'll find 15, 20 pages of, everything out there. A lot of it negative, too.
A lot of it negative.
That's because I get attacked
awesome.
almost daily on anything that I write. Like recently I said that the media doesn't care about Tara Reid. As a matter of fact, you could have Bill Cosby, Bill Clinton, Harvey Weinstein, Joe Biden, and Hunter Biden in his office with his entire Senate staff gang raping her with the movie The Accused on in the background, and they wouldn't care. So obviously that's a pretty, crazy statement out there. So they write articles about me. Josh Bernstein said this. Josh Bernstein said that. So there's obviously a lot of negative stuff out there. Right Wing Watch, pretty much, I don't know, I guess they're just infatuated with me. I would assume they probably sit and light candles and maybe, I don't know, do some pleasuring of themselves while they're watching my videos and then writing about me. I'm not really sure. But they seem to be the biggest ones. But there are many others as well. Now, there's also lots of people that write nice and good things about me as well.
Yeah.
Because, again, if you look at the comments on every one of my videos, the majority of people agree or like what I'm doing. Now, that could be seen as two ways. One, you're preaching to the choir too much. Or two, and even people that disagree with you still respect your ability to convey your message. And I think it's a mixture of both of those.
Awesome.
So, but anyway, yes, you can go to Google. I have a Wikipedia site that you can follow. There's information there. Of course, Roku TV, or is it Roku TV? I don't know. I get those two confused all the time. Whatever. If you're stuck at home, instead of binging on Tiger King, you can watch the Josh Bernstein Show. It's also on Amazon, Amazon Prime, Fire Stick, and then, of course, on YouTube and patreon.com/Josh Bernstein. And, all over the place. There's a lot of other platforms it's on as well.
That's cool. Well, thank you for doing this. This is awesome. We just kind of
Absolutely.
You just took a shot, and I thought, well,
Impromptu.
fuck, I'm sitting here. Let's just go.
Yeah. Yeah, if you get me a copy of it.
I'm gonna send as soon as we're done. I'm gonna send it through to you here on Skype.
So.
Well, I appreciate it, sir, and I will talk to you later. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Actually,
You got it. I will
All right,
talk
brother.
to you tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
God bless you. See you.
There he goes, Mr. Josh Bernstein, and we are gonna take a break and figure it out. I don't know what we're gonna figure out, but we're gonna figure something out.